Well, good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, the 13th of May, 2020, and it's another daily devotional. This morning, I was reading out of John chapter 2, and let me just read to you what the Bible says in John 2. It says that the Passover of the Jews was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. And in the temple, he found those who were selling oxen and sheep and pigeons, and money changers sitting there. The reason why there was money changers was because the temple had its own currency, so you had to exchange your normal currency for temple currency in order to buy the pigeons and the sheep and the oxen for sacrificing. And making a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the temple with the sheep and oxen, and he poured out the coins of the money changers and overturned the tables. And he told those who sold the pigeons, "Take these things away. Do not make my Father's house a house of trade." In the other Gospels, Jesus says, my Father's house should be called a house of prayer. His disciples remembered that it was written, "Zeal for your house will consume me." And this week and last week, we've been looking at zeal and passion for Jesus. And it really struck me about the Lord's zeal for us, the Lord's zeal towards us, the Lord's zeal for the things of the Father, for the things of God. Now, in the New Testament context, the Bible says that the church is the temple of God and that the individual believer is a temple of God. And Jesus is zealous for you. He's zealous for me. He's zealous for what's taking place on the inside of us. He's zealous for what's taking place on the inside of the church. He's called us to be a house of prayer. He's called the church to be a house of prayer for all nations. And so there are times whenever he isn't gentle Jesus, meek and mild. He's Jesus coming, making a whip out of cords and driving things out of us. And sometimes we need to have things driven out of us. Sometimes we need to give Jesus permission to overturn the tables in this temple, in our own lives. You know, what's happening in the worldwide church at the moment is that Jesus is overturning tables. He's overturning tables of performance. He's overturning tables of money changers, of turning the house of the Lord into a place of trade, a house of trade. And what the Lord's heart is in all of this is to bring us back to a place of prayer, to bring us back to a place of undiluted focus on him, to bring us back to a place of purity towards him, and of just actually recognizing, you know what, this whole thing, it's about Jesus. The whole thing's about Jesus. Christianity is about Jesus. The kingdom is about the king. And in this process, he is zealous for his Father. He is zealous for his Father's house. He is zealous for the church. He is zealous for you. He doesn't want these things invading us. He wants to come in and he wants to overturn some tables in our lives. Now, that might not be a nice process. It might not be a fun process. I'm sure it wasn't fun for the money changers getting whipped by the Lord. But in order to restore his intent for us, in order to restore his intent for the church, we've got to give him permission to come in and turn over a few tables. So the question is this morning, what are the tables in your life that Jesus needs to overturn? What are the tables that you're hiding behind or that you're holding on to that the Lord wants to come in and wants to overturn? Now, he doesn't bring a whip to us. He brings a whip to the issues. He brings a whip to the things that have been set up within our lives that shouldn't be there. Wrong thinking, strongholds, that kind of stuff. In order to bring us to a place of original intent. In order to bring us to a place where he wants us to be. So that we can be useful vessels in the house of the Lord. Hey, listen, have a great day, guys. Be blessed. Jesus is for you. And if he is for you, then who can be against you, right? So have a great day. Be blessed. Seek out one another. Encourage one another. Bless one another in the Lord. Send one another a text or a message this day, just encouraging one another and blessing them in the name of the Lord. Have a great day, guys.